So this weekend, me and Anthony watched a movie called Late Night with Mindy who's known from The Office, and her show Nurse Mindy or Dr. Mindy. I can't remember what it was. I remember she was a medical professional. But now she is in a movie called Late Night where she plays an inspiring writer to work on a late night show who's hosted by Emma Thompson. And for me, it was just plot holes after plot holes and things that were just happening that I didn't understand. Brown Man brought up a lot of good points earlier this morning when we were talking about it that I know he's going to want to get into. And I have a point that I want to talk about that we're going to get into as well. So Anthony, why don't we start with you?
Okay. I liked it. Mindy, at first, in The Office, she was a token foreigner that was on The Office, since The Office wouldn't allow there to be more than 2 brown people on any season. So she was okay then, but like since The Office, like I feel like she's just tried to be a blonde, blue-eyed white woman in every role she does, and this is pretty par for the course. This movie, I believe she directed and wrote it.
She did. She did.
She did, yeah. And I felt like this movie was just like, glad handing and congratulating to the pieces of shit in our society, the people that are given opportunity after opportunity when they're not qualified for it. They don't do the work it takes to get to the stuff. And this movie was about a washed-up comedian who was not funny, nor was she relatable. And all of a sudden, this Indian woman who's been handed a job that people would die for, and like as soon as she comes on the screen, she's given everything she wants. There's no struggle at all in this movie. They barely explain anything. It's just like, oh, well, she randomly got this and she randomly got that. Yeah. And it just like speaks to like this culture of people that are just like I deserve this, not because I'm good or because I put in the work, just because I'm well off and my family's well off, so give me opportunity after opportunity.
I mean, yeah, she had like a job at some kind of factory, and she was a quality control analyst or whatever. That was her job at the factory, and she wrote an essay to speak with any CEO of a company, and she spoke to the CEO of the chemical plant, which that chemical plant owned the company that owned the network that her favorite talk show, which was Emma Thompson's talk show. Like, she was a huge fan of Emma Thompson's talk show, and she wanted to work on that talk show because she thought that she could help it be better.
Yeah, like it would have been different if this movie was set up to where like she had came on there and she gave like a fresh perspective. I feel like her whole thing was, let me give you clearance to continue to be the same boring person, boring, ignorant person that you've been. The only thing different now is you hired somebody who will back up anything you say as long as there's a woman in the room. Like, her jokes didn't get better. Her like ignorance to stuff that was going on didn't get better. Like, it just personifies this fake New York living that doesn't exist, because New York is a filthy place. The people are some of the worst people in the world, and like they make it seem like all you gotta do is make it to New York, and just being white and average, you'll succeed in anything you want to do. They make light of clinical depression. Like, they have these rich people who live in $1 million homes. They're successful. They have all this stuff. They have no debt. They're able-bodied, and like they're like, oh, I'm depressed. What could you be depressed about? You took a man from his wife and kids. You have a successful show that you've been on for way too long, almost 30 years, and like you treat people like dog shit, but you're clinically depressed. Miss me with that bullshit. Like I feel like all this stuff is like depression and PTSD is the new croutons that you put on top of stuff to just add an extra topping. Like nothing in this movie had to do anything with depression, even though they kept throwing it out there. The whole like thing about her, she'll make fun of a man for trying to sleep with her, but then she'll come back and be like, oh, now you don't want to sleep with me. Like the whole movie was just like it was just like a book about how you water down ideas of regular people to make rich, boring people look like something. Like the movie was like it never really got off the ground to me. Like Emma Thompson's character, she had no growth in the movie. Mindy's character kept taking a step back. She pretended to have pride and she pretended to be like this person, a go-getter, and then as the movie went on, she never really did anything. She just sat around and was like, woe is me, like BS. And
Right.
like, I don't see how people thought this was a great
Right.
movie.
I mean, with Mindy's character, like, you know, she got a show on the Seth Meyers show, and like Seth Meyers was like super down with her being on the show, and then she just goes back to this abusive woman who is like, I need you. And the only reason why that line is in there is because of John Lithgow. Is that his name? The husband? Yeah, the husband was like, you need to make her need you, even though she doesn't know that she needs you. So that just comes like full circle. You know, that whole thing is like, oh, I need you to help me with this thing. And then it was like a year and then the movie ends with like a year later, and all we see is diverse people working in that office now. It's not a bunch of white men working in the office. It's a bunch of diverse, you know, people of gender and different ethnic backgrounds. And there's probably an LGBTQ person in there as well, you know, that's on the writing staff. And for me, there was no disabled person. Like, you could have gotten Zach Anner, you could have gotten Ryan O'Connell, Zach Anner, who used to write on the TV show Speechless, and he's a stand-up comedian. You could have got Ryan O'Connell, who is now, who writes for, who wrote it, Netflix. You know, they could have had him as a cameo.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
All right.
Keep talking.
So they could have had that for a cameo, which was ridiculous to me. That was the most frustrating for me. For me, no disabled representation. And we only have a few shows. One that just got canceled, Speechless, and one that was barely even a show, Special on Netflix. It had 6 episodes, and they were 6 or 7 episodes, and they were all 15 minutes apiece. Like, it barely made up a season. Like, barely. So for me, like, that was the thing that I was frustrated about the most. And like Anthony said, like, like, nobody had growth. Like, you didn't see if she became a better person or if Mindy's character became, you know, the strong, independent person of color. Like, none of that happened. So yeah, I was just talking about how there's no person of disability in that end scene when the office changed. Like, how it wasn't really even a true office, you know, diverse office work area. And if you're talking, Anthony, I can't hear you.
Hello?
Oh, there you are.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So,
Where'd you leave off at?
I talked about how it wasn't a true office of diversity without a person of disability in there. How they could have hired Zach Anner or Ryan O'Connell. Zach Anner's from Speechless. Ryan O'Connell was the one that wrote and acted in the TV show Special. So
yeah, by far this was the worst thing that that Amazon has put out.
even worse than the Taylor Swift concert.
Even
worse than that free Taylor Swift concert.
Oh, I didn't watch
either,
that. I didn't even know. I didn't know they put out a free Taylor Swift concert.
So they had a Taylor Swift concert for Prime Day or Prime Week or whatever, and it was her and a bunch of other girls that I didn't even know who they were, and I was like, that does not appeal to me at all.
Yeah. And what's the name of that show that we both love that Netflix wouldn't give the time of day?
Love You More.
Yeah, I feel like for the quarter of the money they gave Mindy for this, they could have did a whole season of that show, which was actually good.
Right. And that was done by Bobcat Goldman, and it had what's the actress name that we like?
It's like Bridget
something. Yeah, she's great. And then they had the one brown kid from Young Adult from Born the AMC docu show about adults that have Down syndrome. Even though it was made by the same people who made Keeping Up with the Kardashians, like it was that, and it was only like pretty well off like people in LA. But you know, it got exposure to the Down syndrome community, which was nice. So, yeah, he was a main character in that show, and I was stoked on it because he was in it. There was a bunch of other Down syndrome people that I knew, like the one Down syndrome girl from the first season of American Horror Story was in it, and a bunch of other people.
I know.
And the one thing
I know what I was gonna say earlier.
Yeah.
Hello. Okay. The thing that confused me about this movie also was that they had her dressed like Ellen, but then she had the lettering and backdrop of the Colbert Show. But she wasn't as friendly as Ellen or bubbly as Ellen, and she wasn't as serious or funny as Steve Colbert. But she basically ripped off both shows.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right. Hold on, I gotta jump on this roof. All right. Continue talking right. About it.
But yeah, no, that's an interesting point too. That you know how she dressed was and the Colbert thing. I was like, oh, this looks like Stephen Colbert show, but nothing. It was nothing. I didn't even know if she had a show like that, 10 years ago. Like they were like, oh, your show hasn't been good for 10 years. Well, was it like the Stephen Colbert show? Was it hard hitting? Did she have on, people like Stephen Colbert does, like Bernie Sanders, and well thought out people? Like Stephen Colbert has some pretty awesome guests on there, and he has a variety of guests. He has actors, actresses. He has, politicians and lawmakers and stuff like that. Ellen has viral video people and, helps them out. Or people who go viral. So the people that, the person that they had go viral, she totally despised. It wasn't like a person going viral for something that she would be into. It was a person who went viral for something that she hated. Like she was just like, she hated everything about like American culture, American trends. Like, she was this British woman who had who had a show, you know, it's one thing to be, you know, she didn't even like relatable or likable like John Oliver. And John Oliver's British, and he has great material. His show, Last Week Tonight, is amazing. You know, he talks about real issues. He talks about some awesome things, but you know, like he is a good example of who she could have been or what she should have been like in the past, but then things just got stale, and it wasn't anything like that. And like we don't know, you know, I mean, they showed a few like clips of her back in the day, so that stuff wasn't funny. I mean, I don't know. It was just this movie was not what I thought it. There was things that it could be, and it wasn't, and it sucks because I want to see a show like Love You More, with a bunch of adults who have a mental disability living in this house, and the people who take care of them trying to figure out, you know, their different quirks. And the one thing about that show this was the first time we were going to see a disabled person who was openly gay, and that was cool to me. Like you've never seen any show with a Down syndrome person who's like, I'm gay. You know, and there was a real character development going on there, But then no, The Marvelous Miss Maisel had to be the show on there that won. You know, they could have been like, yo, Bobcat, you know, you want to do this? Give him a chance. Give him at least a season to see if he does well. Didn't even do that. And it sucks because there's all this garbage that Amazon is putting out, and it's not as good. It's not half as good as what things that give it a chance like I don't know more could, and it sucks. I don't feel represented. I know Ant don't feel represented. Like, I mean, I don't even know how many other people felt represented in that movie, but I bet you there was tons more people who felt represented in Love You More, because you had a BBW woman in there. You had a short brown guy cameo. That was awesome. You had a cast of mentally disabled actors and actresses, you know, playing roles that they could relate to, and it was amazing. It was such a good show. This movie was unrelatable, for me at least. I mean, I guess Amazon doesn't understand that there's more than privileged white people that watch Amazon, you know? I'm getting Amazon for free with my phone plan. So, you know, why don't you cater to all kinds of people? You know, it doesn't seem like Amazon is doing that. I don't feel Amazon is catering to me. I don't feel Amazon caters to anybody in the disabled community. I mean, they teased us with I Love You More, but then they go for this Me Too movement, PC culture thing that doesn't even fit in that time period at all. It doesn't fit in that time period. The love will not fit in that time period, and they just keep making shows that are unrelatable. And you know, just
Definitely nobody in that film shops at Amazon.
what?
Nobody no character in that film shops at Amazon.
Nobody on that film shops on Amazon?
Yeah.
Right. Like, I was just talking about how Amazon's shows lately, or movies, aren't relatable to the common person. Like, I mean, I get Amazon free through my phone plan. And I bet you there's so many other people that do, you know. There's they it's like when they do, when there is a chance where it's going to be relatable to somebody like me or somebody like you, it never gets past like a pilot phase.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that we like never gets past like the pilot program, and it's not like that Marvel Miss Maisel show, which is like got picked up because of the whole Me Too movement and whatnot. Like it was like Me Too, like 2019 female politics in a 1950s show.
That show is garbage.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand what's Amazon's like affinity with making shows about privileged people that aren't any good. Like there's no struggle in these films. Like there's not real struggle. It's self-imposed struggle. It's kind of like when people are like, I'm being bullied over the internet, but they won't turn off their computer.
Right.
Like these people only problems in these movies and TV shows that Netflix keeps airing are problems that they create themselves. It's like that Jack Ryan show. The Jack Ryan show, if like you're a person that works for the CIA, like you think the show is dumb as fuck. If you're a person with common sense, you're like, this dude keeps putting himself in these situations. He's not helping. Like all he does is keep stumbling into like fucked up situations that he's not qualified for or nothing, but because he's a tall white dude, everything is forgiven. And I feel like this followed that same archetype of people that definitely shouldn't be in these situations, just getting free passes to fuck shit up because they're privileged. And Netflix doesn't make any show about regular people, about handicapped people, about people overcoming things in their life. They just make stuff about marginally attractive people doing shit that they have no reason doing just because Netflix finds them attractive.
Right. Well, Amazon finds them attractive. Oh, and Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah, Amazon has, like, I think that Jeff Bezos or whoever's in charge finds Mindy attractive, so they gave her a bunch of money so she can get a bunch of plastic surgery and halfway write a movie.
And then Emma Thompson's in, like, some Amazon show already.
Yeah. And, like, clearly she was just there for a check. Like, and, like, she seemed like a lesbian the whole movie. I don't believe that she slept with John Lithgow or the young comedian. I feel like she was, like, she had more of a romantic, like, thing with Mindy than she had with any guy on the screen that they were like, oh, she's sleeping with or had slept with these
right.
people. And Emma Thompson is not the person that you leave your wife and kids for. You leave your wife and kids for somebody hot and interesting. She was not interesting and she was not hot. Even when Mindy was watching the tape of her in her younger years, she looked at like an extra in a PBS kid show. But I gotta drop off so I can program my next house.
All right.
Are you still gonna be on here?
I might, but I think I'm gonna just cut this video because we said everything we wanted to say about this review of this late night show and our displeasures of Amazon.
Well, I have some closing remarks.
Closers. Let's close.
Okay, my closer are, hey Amazon, I clearly believe in your company as far as getting stuff off the internet for cheap prices and delivered efficiently. You should stop producing your own content. Please find somebody who is on the outside looking in to make your content, because just throwing money at unfunny people just because they were popular at one time is not going to make you any money back. And I know y'all do not care about making money, but please stop putting this bullshit on Amazon. Like, it's almost like a burden now. Like more than half of the stuff Amazon puts out is almost unwatchable.
Okay.
So please stop it, Jeff Bezos.
Or put good stuff on, like Love You More. Like, actually give Bob Goldman some money to do a full season of that show, you know, and let him do that show, or have a show like that with disabled people. Like, I want to see that show. Like, I want to see that show about, a house of Down syndrome adults, and one of them's struggling to be gay, or coming out to be gay because he gets made fun of for being gay. But the reason why he's in that new house is because they found out that he was gay and they bullied him and made fun of him for being gay and not liking women. And so
Okay, how about this? Instead of Netflix making shows about uninteresting people,
Amazon,
keep the same shows, but make the people handicapped, or make the people make Emma Thompson's character handicapped. Then she's more relatable. Give Mindy's person Asperger's, so then she's more relatable. Like, if you're gonna write these horrible scripts, at least give people that are out here auditioning and like actually trying to do something outside of the box opportunities, and stop giving opportunities to the same boring people. Nobody needed another movie about Mindy or about Emma Thompson. They've already been in all these bland movies. Why do they need another opportunity that somebody new and interested who actually wants to be an actor, and it doesn't take them $100,000 worth of facial reconstruction surgery in order to pull off a movie? I know no handicapped that are getting Botox.
right?
Do you know any handicapped actors getting Botox? It shouldn't take all that. If the script is good, hire people that want to act, that are hungry. There's plenty of people out here that are hungry. Stop recasting the same boring people. Yeah.
I agree with you, and I just want a show that represents me as a disabled person, and I bet you he wants a show that represents the working class brown man.
Or a show that shows how privileged people actually treat people, and stop pretending like privileged people are awesome people. Most privileged people or upper middle class people are pieces of shit. So stop trying to tell me on TV that these people are great people. I meet almost none of these people that they keep making exist. In real life, Emma Thompson's character probably would have been murdering kids in her off time. Like, I'm tired of this. Like, these people are not real. Like none of them. Like, this shit is ridiculous.
Agreed. So, I think we've wrapped up our review of this week's Amazon movie, which I think sucks. We got a thumbs down. We will later be talking about the 3 episodes of the new Hulu series, Wu-Tang Clan, An American Saga, which is super good because, like we said, the things that aren't represented in late night are represented in the Wu-Tang show. There's a disabled kid who's actually disabled. There's actual people playing actual roles of actual things that actually happen. There's real life struggle of what happened in Park Hill and all that whole stuff of where they lived at, they have a compelling story, and it's cool that they actually talk about this guy raising his disabled brothers. We don't see that,
but we're gonna talk about that later.
Talk about that later. So come back.
We can do that this afternoon.
So come back for a recap of the first 3 episodes of the Wu-Tang American Saga. We are out on last night, but we will tell you why we are in on Wu-Tang. I am the OHB, one-handed bandit.
And I'm Brown Man and Hangry Boyz.
And we are out. See you later this afternoon.